I'm here. Everybody got on ties today.
Good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, June 20th, 2023 City Council meeting. Our invocation will be provided by Uriel Luderman. Independence is Alive and Well initiative. And then please stand for the invocation and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you for this privilege. As I pondered and considered this meeting tonight, this is what came to me. Father, as we gather here tonight, I pray a blessing upon this people so that we may be a blessing to others. May we be about your holy business tonight. Bless us with divine creativity to see the possibilities in all our circumstances. Bless us with knowledge and wisdom and good humor in all our dealings every day with our mayor, city council, and citizens. Bless us with courage to try and fail and learn to do better. May our city be a playground for exploration and experimentation in all the things that you have for us. May we say yes to your nudgings and churnings inside of us and step into the great world of creative solutions. I pray the blessing of flexibility of thought and actions outside our normal ways of thinking and acting. Bless us with everything we need. With you, we do have everything we need to live well in the love of brothers and sisters in your presence. May we receive your supernatural kind of love for all your children, loving all just as we are, where we are, and encouraging and guiding us all into the best ways to be your sons and daughters and govern ourselves. May we seek your thoughts and ways for all our actions, knowing we are seeking the very best for ourselves and all others to survive and thrive together. May this session proceed with wisdom and good humor in our common concerns and pursuits together. May we be blessed with light and understanding and the desire to love, inspire, foster, and transform our city so it shines like the gem she is in every aspect of life. Bring forth and bless our dreamers and visionaries and creative problem solvers. Bless our moms and dads, children, and our elders with freedom and permission to do all that you are calling us to do. And may we be blessed with confirmation and encouragement as we proceed with those good things that come from here tonight. In the blessed name of your beloved Son, even Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed, not to secure these rights, governments are instituted.
And justice for all.
Councilmember Spears. Here. Perkins. Here. Stewart.
Here.
Hamlet. Here. Steinmeier. Here. Hobart. Here. Merrill.
That brings us to citizens' request. We have two. Walter Capps first. Walter here.
Oh, God. I'm first. Oh, golly.
Come on up, Walter.
All right.
And please state your name and address. Please.
My name is Walter Capps at 310 East Hereford Avenue. Thank you very much for letting me speak today, Honorable Mayor. Again, I'm here in opposition to the bill 23-048. I don't really have anything written as a speech, but I have an outline laid out. So first I would like to mention public. The word public comes from Latin. Hold on, I had it written down here. Populus meaning people. Populi, that changed to publicus, meaning of the people, which went to publicus, and then French took that, and then now we have the English word for public. You know, it means of the people. So in terms of legislation where it says, you know, on a public sidewalk, you know, the plain meaning of the word is a people's sidewalk. You know, and like it or not, those sidewalks belong to all of us. You know, it doesn't matter how much money we have, because, you know, as written in in the document that the city is named after, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these citizens, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it late, and to institute new governments, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing powers in such form as to most likely affect their safety and happiness. Alright, that's the document that the city is named after. You know, independence. And unfortunately, you know, it doesn't feel like we have much independence here in the city. Those of us who don't have money, wealth, family, you know, those of us who don't have access to love, you know, that other people do. You know, and a lot of those people, you know, are struggling. You know, and they are trying their hardest. You know, but, you know, at a certain point, you know, some of these people, you know, if you're out there for so many years, like, you know, 5 years, 10 years, you know, I've been homeless twice, but for periods less than a year, luckily. But like, you know, some of these people, you know, who have slept under the same bridge, they've been under 10 years. And, you know, at this point, you know, if you've been dealing with this for 10 years, it's, you know, at some point you're just going to give up. Because you don't think there's any real help. You know, any job you get isn't going to pay you a good enough wage, you know, because none of the good paying jobs are going to give you a job. And then the low-wage jobs are going to treat you like crap, as you can barely survive off that. And some people are scraping by paycheck to paycheck. You know, and it's a hard thing, you know, for people in my age group. You know, the only solution for us is to try and get to college so that we can get some degree that's hidden behind a paywall in order to get into a job, you know, that pays us a good wage, and that we can, you know, have a comfortable life and pursue our happiness. You know, so, you know, I would like to also mention, you know, I went ahead and I've done some reading of this city charter. I don't know if you know, but I do actually try to read those documents.
You have 1 minute.
You know, if I may address the Honorable Mayor, it does say that the mayor hereby is authorized to declare the existence of an emergency, suspend hours of business, close certain businesses, and take immediate action to pursue the peace. Can't read my own handwriting. The peace, property, and safety of its citizens. Now, I do think this is something that is cause for an emergency. You know, like I said, some of these people, they've been on this, dealing with this for years, decades, some people multiple decades. And, you know, like it says, governments are instituted among men to secure those rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, and if this government wishes to become destructive to those citizens, it is my right to come up here and speak to you. It is the right of any of those people they wanted to come up and speak, but I know they are very fearful because we're taught that speaking up for ourselves, you know, whether it's in school or at work, only gets us in more trouble, whether it be about bullies or anything, you know.
If I can interrupt, I'm sorry, you have reached your 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you very much for letting me speak, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for your care and compassion. So,
Thank you.
all right, next is Jerry Rich.
Jared Rich is my name. I'm the executive director of the Elm Grove Community Improvement District. And tonight we have our board chair with us, Karen Gandhi, who's right back here.
And if I can ask you, Jerry, just please state your address. Your home address, right?
4527 Waters Edge, Lisa, Missouri.
Okay, thank you. If I can, Jerry, hang on just one second.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to suspend the rules so that out of town residents may speak.
Yep. Jerry, what's happening right now is we have to have a motion to suspend our rules to allow citizens to live outside the city the opportunity to speak. We're going to give you that opportunity, but we have to go through the procedural aspect of that, so I just wanted to let you know that was the case. So thank you for doing that. So we got a motion and a second. Any discussion on setting the rules aside to allow Jerry to speak? No further discussion. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears? Yes. Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Milburn?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. All right, Jerry, you're cleared. We'll restart the timer, so you're good.
Thank you. I'm speaking on behalf of the Nolan Road Community Improvement District. Our address is 4315 Nolan Road. You have before you this evening a motion to consider the removal of the property at 4023 Nolan Road. This has been a property that has been vacant for over 6 years, and it has a lot of legal problems to it in the courts and different things, and trying to work around those. There was a recent legal thing that a person filed a lien, got a title, and then this has been changed, so we don't know where that goes at all. The only interest that the Nolan Road CID has, we have up and down on the Nolan Road corridor over 175 businesses, and we represent these businesses to try to bring new business, upgrade their businesses, and things like that. And we even considered every 6 years that maybe the CID should consider buying this and then reselling it, but we're not in the real estate business, and I think it's coming to head now. The owner, Nate Paul, has a number of legal problems, and he was in court last week. Nolan Road CID and the City of Independence has a cooperative agreement that we work with you on a number of projects. The first two pictures you have are the ones at the triangle at 23rd, just south of 23rd Street. And this is actually owned by the city. When we took it over, it was 10 trees on it and rocks and everything. And we've made it into a beautiful landscape area. And I think you'll be able to see that. Okay. The second one is there on Union Pacific property across the Cars Largo. We have 2 planters there. The city had a contract for 20 years. City manager just renewed the contract 2 weeks ago with the council's approval. And so we can work on that again. And we're doing those. Union Pacific, MoDOT is the other area we work with. And like the railroad, they can be tough to deal with at times. But we do have the right permits to improve I-70 and Nolan Road, all 4 intersections. And that touches into the Kmart property. We just put up 650 feet of fence around the Five Guys property, which has been there since 1970 and is in very bad shape. The next picture you'll see is the monument, Independence Monument, that we would like to get built this year. The City of Independence has submitted the application with MoDOT, and we would support them 100%. And we're waiting on approval on that. If we get that soon, we could hopefully have that up by the fall of this year. I had a presentation on the screen, but that wasn't allowed, so I had to go get pictures this afternoon so you can see what we're talking about. Now we'll go to the Kmart property. This, and you can see the 4 pictures I gave you, where the water and the electric and the windows are out of There's only 4 windows left in the building now. It has been completely stripped of all the copper, everything. You see the police cars there, the fire truck there. And they've made many calls. That water thing ran for 4 days before we got that under control.
You have 1 minute.
No other tool and office backs there. I have a short-term lease here. We're concerned about that. We don't want them to leave. And but over the tool last year, they had to put their own lights in the parking lot because Kmart, Texas did not provide. They cut off electricity. So these are the things that's happened through the years. I think those scriptures tell you what we're doing, and I just want to present you that. And the CID would like to have your support tonight. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. That brings us to the consent agenda. Are there any council members wishing to pull anything for separate consideration?
Mr. Mayor?
Please.
Mr. Mayor, hang on a second.
Okay.
I move to approve the
Okay.
reports and recommendations.
We've got a motion to approve.
Second.
We've got a second. Councilmember Stewart?
Yes, can you please pull item number 2 from the reports and recommendations of the city manager?
Okay, item number 2 will be pulled. Any other items?
Item number 5, please.
Okay.
Discussion.
23,757. All the way to the end.
Do you mind? What are they pulling? What? Are they pulling? I'm sorry. What are they pulling on there? I didn't get myself a copy.
And 23,757.
Okay. Well, I was just want to know if I could look at it.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Okay. Councilmember Stewart, you pulled item number 2. Oh, yeah, let's do the consent first. Thank you. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmembers Pierce. Yes. Perkins. Stewart.
Yes.
Campbell. Yes. Steinmeier.
Yes.
Hobart.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. And the consent agenda is approved 7-0. That brings us to item number 2. Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, $199,000 to demolish the property there, which is the old Kmart building. And that money, I know it's coming from COVID relief money. We gave ourselves, I believe, $800 and some thousand originally out of that money. How much do we have left out of that?
Yes, sir, you're correct. That's coming from the American Recovery Plan Act funds. Of the funds the city received for that, the council did approve allocating $820,000 towards dangerous building demolitions. And as of my most recent report, so there may be a few, less than $10,000 bills that have come through on this. $659,840 remains.
So that we would be left with about just a little over $400,000 if we go through with this one.
It would be about $450,000.
We're actually spending a year on demos.
The city allocates about $200,000 a year for dangerous building demo out of general fund appropriations, and typically we fully extend that by year's end.
So we got to leave this, we have about 2 years of COVID money left. Is that right?
That on that, if you take the average amount, yes, sir, and I would remind the council that all of those would place liens on the property, so this would go on the tax bill when that property would sell, or when the property owner goes to, in theory, pay their taxes. Then this would be part of that bill, and the city would be reimbursed through payment of taxes for the cost of this demolition. So these are funds that will make their way back to the city and can be reallocated for this or other uses, however the council sees fit.
I know we already did the garden center, I believe. Do we have a list of what's that?
We do. That is on the current tax bill.
How much is that for?
I believe that was around $20,000. Pardon? Oh, I way overshot. $8,000.
twice. All right, Madam City Clerk. We need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 2.
All right, got a motion, is a second?
Yeah, second.
All right, got a motion, is a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes, item number 2 is approved, 7-0. Next is Councilmember Catalyst. Item number 5, Councilmember, please proceed.
Thank you. To inquire the city manager, Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, I saw this item and I just had questions. I understand this is consolidated for the purchases that we make of Amazon. And it just raises my eyebrows that we have local businesses, and I just wanted to get a little bit of feedback on that.
Yes, it's a great question as well, council members. So our finance department has done an outstanding job of looking for efficiencies throughout the organizations, particularly where departments are all bidding for similar services. Instead of doing these one-offs across multiple city departments, looking for an opportunity to use the city's collective purchasing power by going all in on a cooperative purchasing agreement. We've noticed that, like many consumers, many of our city departments are utilizing the services of Amazon, the convenience, et cetera, that's there. One of the things that I think the council can take solace in is that as part of this agreement, Amazon has made a commitment to try to source local when that's practical. Now, if the local vendors for some reason don't have that product and or it's outrageously more expensive than it can be purchased from some out of region, out of community vendor, then of course, from an economical standpoint, they'll look elsewhere. But that first priority and commitment is to try to source local.
Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion for item number 5.
So moved.
Got a second? Got a second. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on number 5? Seeing none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. And item number 5 is approved, 7-0. That brings us to resolution 23-757. Mayor Beers, please proceed. And if I could ask you, Councilor, before you start, to take a motion, we'll get a second, we'll get out of the way. and let the
Ready to do
discussion-
that.
Yeah,
Make a motion to approve 23-757.
perfect. Second. Thank you. Got a motion and a second.
So I'm pretty excited about this opportunity, and I wanted to just ask if we could have the city manager give us some information. This is kind of his brainchild, so I think it might be worthwhile to have him go on record and kind of tell the public a little bit more, because they'll hear more about it in the long run.
That's correct, and thank you for the opportunity, Mayor, Council, to share just a quick update with you. As you said, Councilmember Fears, I think this is something the council and the community will hear about a lot over the course of the next year. But this past February, the council did adopt its action plan, which of course included 6 different key focus areas that we as city staff are now responsible for delivering upon this council's vision and expectations. And that has helped us shape the budget proposal that we'll vote on later tonight. It's shaping many of our work plans and programs that departments are working on, the various agenda items that are showing up. So point being, this is a plan that's working. But if you kind of start to take a deeper look at some of the data, and one of the areas I pay close attention to is the population of our community. That is an indicator of the vibrancy and the health, one of many, in a community. The last census in 2020 showed remarkable growth for our community. But the Census Bureau does put out data of a population estimate year to year. It's just an estimate, but this is the best thing we have to kind of look at our population year to year. Across the state of Missouri, Independence has had the 3rd highest population decline in just the last 2 years since the 2020 census came out. That should be alarming to all of us. That is the wrong direction. So for all the wonderful things we're doing, there are still key issues that are causing more people to leave than are moving back into the community. So my proposal to the council and to the staff, and frankly to the entire community, because that's what it will take to reverse that trend, is to really laser in on these key parts of the action plan, being a well-planned city, being a financially sustainable organization, and making Now, those are kind of some long-winded ways to say that. So organizations that I have seen that are extremely successful, they can very quickly and very succinctly tell you what they are about. So what I'm proposing to change the trajectory that the community is currently on is what we're calling the Get Fit plan. As I've joked with you many times, I love my dessert too much to say that this is a plan about physical fitness. What this is truly about are three key areas: becoming structurally fit. We keep talking about having $1 billion of deferred maintenance. We've said that so many times that I think it's easy to become numb to that idea, and that should never be okay. The deputy city manager told me the other day that there was a bridge when he came to the city 5 years ago that was out of commission. That bridge is still closed today. That should not be okay to any of us. So that's one representative example of let's address structural issues in this community that make this community beautiful, vibrant, and safe. Number two, becoming economically fit, focusing on these key economic and redevelopment projects in our city. On the one hand, earlier in this council's term, we approved a 10-year, multi-million-dollar development project in the valley that we all commonly refer to as North Point. More of those kind of projects are coming, and it's exciting, and we keep working on those. Alternatively, we don't give up on redevelopment. Tonight, you have the chance to approve a $36 million redevelopment at a key corridor and intersection in our city. More of those projects are the kind of things that are going to attract additional investment. We build on the momentum we've got. And finally, becoming an organization that is financially fit. Instead of talking about every year being, structurally imbalanced and what are we going to do to balance the budget, and it's not just a general fund problem. We lived with that misnomer for many years. All three utilities are budgeted to operate at a loss this year and pull from their reserves. All of the sales taxes are becoming more and more restricted in their capacity. It's not just a general fund issue. So to have the resources to deliver upon the basic services that makes this a community of choice and a very livable community and supports all of the many basic services our citizens count on, we've got to get right in our budget there. So Get Fit is a totally team effort. It is this council continuing to set that vision and expectation. It's city staff delivering on it every day. And it's the citizens of this community holding us all to account to make sure we deliver, and it doesn't just become another plan and another talking point.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we've got a motion on the table to approve 23-757. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless?
Yes.
Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. Resolution 23-757 is approved 7-0. That brings us to our first public hearing. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
A public hearing for the application by Hilda Ramirez requesting rezoning from C2 General Commercial and/or R12 two-family residential to C2 PV General Commercial Plan Development and approve a preliminary development plan for the properties located at the northwest corner of 23rd Street and Cottage Street. This is an informational plan.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Rick Arroyo, the Assistant Community Development Director here at the city. This rezoning was considered by Planning Commission on April 25th of this year. Planning Commission did vote in favor of this rezoning. This is a property generally located at the corner of Cottage and 23rd Street here in Independence. The applicant wishes to rezone the property to a C2 PUD for the purpose of a landscape material wholesale business. I have no information to provide.
Any discussion or questions? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-044, an ordinance approving a rezoning from District R12 two-family residential and District C2 neighborhood commercial to District C2 PUD general commercial planned unit development and approving the preliminary development plan for the properties at the northwest corner of 23rd Street and Cottage Street and Independence, Missouri. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless?
Yes.
Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. And 23-044 passes 7-0. This takes us to our second public hearing.
A public hearing hearing for the application by Jose Barreto requesting a rezoning from I-1 Industrial C1 Neighborhood Commercial for the property located at 907 and 907.5 South Chrysler Avenue. This is a new information only public hearing.
Thank you again. This rezoning was considered by the Planning Commission on April 25th as well of this year. Planning Commission did vote in favor of this rezoning. This is a small 2-unit strip center that is currently zoned industrial. The applicant wishes to lease these spaces to a more traditional C2 neighborhood commercial use. The lots are really not adequate for any type of industrial use. I have no new information to provide.
Thank you very much. Close the public hearing. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Bill number 23-045, an ordinance approving a rezoning from District I-1 Industrial to District C1 Neighborhood Commercial for the property at 907 and 907.5 South Chrysler Avenue, Independence, Missouri. Second and final reading.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. Item 23-045 passes 7-0. This takes us to our third public hearing.
A public hearing for the rezoning from R30 PUD High Density Residential Plain Unit Development and C2 General Commercial to R6 Single Family Residential for the properties along Farmer Street and Main Street. This is a new information only public hearing.
Thank you again. This rezoning was considered by Planning Commission also on the April 25th meeting. Planning Commission did vote in favor of this rezoning. This rezoning is it was a city-initiated rezoning. Many of these are it's going to R6 single family from C2 and R30 PUDs. They were legal non-conforming properties, but they are all single family in use currently right now. And I have no information to provide.
I will close the public hearing. Madam City Clerk.
Bill number 23-046, an ordinance approving a rezoning from District C2 General Commercial and District R30 PUD High Density Residential Plain Unit Development, District R6 Single Family Residential for the properties along Farmer Street and Main Street in Independence, Missouri. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears? Yes. Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. This takes us to our fourth public hearing. We'll open that up.
A public hearing for the application by Amy Kistler requesting a rezoning from R6 Single Family Residential to R6 HL Single Family Residential Historic Landmark to establish a locally designated historic property for the property located at 1114 South Nolan Road. This is a new information only public hearing.
Thank you. So this is a historical landmark designation that was considered by Planning Commission on the April 25th meeting. Planning Commission did vote in favor of this historical landmark designation. This is the Silver Heart Inn that is located just down the street here on Nolan Road, also known as the Stone Gamble House. It has a very rich history from 1856 through the Civil War until today. On April 4th, the Independence Heritage Commission did consider this application and voted unanimously to approve the recommendations for the historical landmark designation to the Planning Commission. I have no new information to provide.
Now to close the public hearing. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-047, an ordinance designating the dwelling and its associated property located at 1114 South Nolan Road as a historic landmark and giving the property a classification of single-family residential historic landmark R6HL on the zoning map. Second and final reading.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland?
Yes. This brings us to our final public hearing.
A full public hearing for the application received from AJ Martin LLC for a retail selling of intoxicating liquor of all kinds and the original package license for AJ Gas and Martin LLC located at 9300 East US 24 Highway. This is a full public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. My name is Tom Snell. I'm the Community Development Director. This location has been operated as a convenience store for several decades now. Back in 2018, AJ Martin LLC purchased the property to continue its use as a convenience store. AJ Martin now seeks to have a liquor license to serve intoxicating liquor of all types in the original package.
Mr. Scannell, if I could just Can you get the microphone aimed towards you a little better? I think that'll help. Thank you. Please proceed.
There are no active liquor licenses within 1,000 feet of this location. This item is before the City Council tonight because there's residential property within 300 feet. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Okay. Is there anyone here to speak in favor or opposition of this public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, I'm Dick Bryan, I'm the attorney for the applicant. I'd like to speak on behalf of this application. Sure. As you've probably seen, this is a store that's undergone some recent renovations. The report makes it very clear. There's $450,000 that's been invested by this family in improvements at this location, and that's a representation of their desire to be part of the community, part of the desire to improve the community. I saw with some interest the comment that was made by Officer Nunn in his report about a previous violation in 2021 and a previous violation in 2022. My client indicated to me that with respect to 2022, he was out of the country, unaware of any issue with that. But if that's the standard by which we make determinations as whether we should have liquor licenses or not, then that would probably eliminate Aldi, Hy-Vee, and other restaurants in the city having liquor licenses as well. They have far greater numbers of violations than that. I think a person that invests $450,000 with the goal of staying in the city, developing a better location for customers to come to, certainly is well awarded in the ability to have a liquor license. This is not a large corporation, and a substantial investment that can be lost or gained through the type of inventory they have. So I would appreciate your vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else to speak in favor of or opposition to? Proceed. There we go. Thank you very much.
My name is Alma Oshta. I'm here against the people who want to get a liquor license near my house. But I'm against because we don't want it too much violence or problems. I mean, all the kind of stuff that liquors makes to people, you know. And I mean, I have a family, I have kids, and we already have problems around that people, you know, drinking and walking around with guns and all that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm against to that.
Anything else?
Yeah, no, that's all I can say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who else? Please proceed.
Good evening.
The
respected members of the...
Excuse me, sir. You just adjust the microphone a little bit. I can make it easier for you. Yes, sir.
Okay.
There we go. Thank
Good
you.
evening to you. To the respected members of the Independent City Council and to Mr. Mayor, good evening to you. My name is Donald Spola. I am a lifelong resident in the Fairmount, Mount Washington neighborhood. I was asked to speak today regarding the request for a liquor license at the AJ Mart gas station located at 9300 US 24 Highway, Independence, Missouri 64053. My thoughts on this business having a liquor license is as follows. This business is 350 feet away from my property and several other homes in this area. Several people a day walk and drive past my property in order to get to this AJ Mart. Upon several requests over the last 5 years since 2018, I've asked this business to pick up their trash on several occasions on their property and from the adjacent properties to the AJ Mart. I feel my attempts have been ignored by the store owner. I've asked them to pick up the trash. They say that the cleanup guy has it, and I was told to talk to him, and nothing is ever done about it. On any given day, there's a large amount of trash that accumulates in this property: candy wrappers, pop bottles, cigarette packages, lottery tickets, and various other items purchased at this location. This AJ Mart also has a reputation of having drug users and drug dealers and other criminal elements hanging out at this location, especially when they have their slot machines up and going. I have witnessed drug deals and other criminal activities on this property and so have many of my neighbors as well. This business owner does not have any no loitering sign or does not enforce a no loitering either day or night. It is my opinion as a concerned neighbor that is trying to improve its neighborhood that the business owner is not allowed to have a liquor license at this time. The amount of trash that has to be picked up on a daily basis from the church right across the street and in front of my home on a daily basis from this business indicates to me that if this business were allowed to have a liquor license in this residential neighborhood, it would cause more trash, empty liquor bottles in front of my home, loitering, and undesirable criminal elements to the community and neighborhood. For these reasons previously mentioned, and as a concerned neighbor, I respectfully ask the City of Independence to deny the request of the AJ Mart at 9300 Winter Road to obtain a liquor license at this time. Thank you for hearing my concerns, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor or opposition to this application? Anyone want to speak in favor of or in opposition to this application? Anyone want to speak just for information purposes only? Okay. Any further discussion on behalf of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Please proceed.
if I may address the city manager.
Please proceed.
Mr. City Manager, if you're Mr. Scannell, I happen to know, of the prior owners, has this location had prior liquor licenses?
I'm going to ask the Community Development Director, Tom Scannell, to reappear.
No, this site has not had a previous liquor license.
And do we know how long it's been a convenience store?
Researching the property, it goes back a few decades. Prior to 2000, it's been a convenience store, but they have not sold liquor at that location.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
And I don't mean to put Councilmember Perkins on the spot, but in the event that he's heard from constituents or anything, if you have any input on that, sometimes I can know if the district council member has any.
Sure. So there has not been any, prior to the meeting, there's not been any request for denial or discussions for approval. So this is the request for denial or review to me this evening as well. But if you don't mind to carry on in your time, can I proceed with my questions, or are you done, Councilmember?
Absolutely, sir. And I, again, don't mean to put you on the spot.
That's quite okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure, that's quite okay. So that's my quick answer there.
But if I can, I'll run the meeting, and Councilor, I do recognize you. So please proceed.
Sure, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Scannell, under the background notes here, it says that there's no church within 300 feet of the location. I was thinking there was an active church at the corner of Brookside and Independence Avenue, which would put it well within the 300 limit.
So the 300-foot measurement, that establishments need to be at least 300 feet away. If they are closer than 300 feet, then that decision of whether to grant the liquor license becomes the purview of the city council. And I'm looking through the maps just to double check that. Sometimes we miss a few churches. And it looks like we may have missed it on this one, but regardless, with the church there, with residential there, that just decides that the approval of that liquor license is the purview of the city council.
So then I would say with a point of clarification within the background information that was provided, there is an active church within 300 feet. Thank you.
Anyone else, other discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
And this I'd also ask a question of staff. If denied, since there's been some sales of product to underage folks recently, let's say they have a good track record over the next year or two, can they, if we denied an alcohol license now, liquor license, can they reapply at some time in the future? How does that work?
As the liquor license officer, I'd ask Mr. Scannell to speak to that.
So, yes, they can.
Is there a time limit, or how's that work?
I don't believe there's a time limit. I will check the city code just to verify that, but I do not think that there is a time limit. If an application is denied, then you have to wait a certain amount of time. So let me just quickly go through and double check that.
For the council's pleasure, I would make the statement that I certainly, and have made it before, that I appreciate absolutely a small business person's investment in our city, and certainly in an area that needs investment. I appreciate that very much. I am concerned about what seems to be maybe an understanding of rules and regulations, or sort of operational awareness of interactions with minors. That's a big concern to me, personally. I'm a bit torn on this one.
Mr. Mayor, please proceed.
Thank you. I'll be voting no for this one, just for the residents who have come up here and spoke, and from traveling that area and going back and forth there with an active church there. There's definitely needs to be some support, some love with a lot of the things that were discussed and brought up through our residents today, to take a very strong look at to make that corner and that area a little bit more secure. For some of those reasons, I will be voting no on this.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, please proceed.
I want to echo Councilman Hobart's comments relative to investment in the community. I really appreciate their investment in that area, in the community, and that's not insignificant at all. However, I echo the concern about the church and the residents is close, but I think what is really swayed my opinion here is the email, is the note on the file stating that the police department does not recommend this establishment obtain a city liquor license. So for that reason, I'll be, as well as the others, I'll be voting no on this one.
Any further discussion? If I may, Mr. City Manager, I have a concern other than what everyone here is addressing, and that is when I had someone testify earlier that they had video lottery machines there. And so, Mr. Walker, if I may ask Mr. Cover his opinion. Number one, is it legal in the state of Missouri to have video lottery machines in your business? Because if I understand correctly, the state of Missouri has not approved that as an operational process. I could be wrong, that's why I'm asking an expert.
Well, you're not asking an expert.
Please strike that from the record.
Generally speaking, that would be correct. That, to my knowledge, those are still not legal.
And therein lies my concern. I would like to take a different tact on this with the council's approval. Is I would like us to go and do some research tomorrow and find out if they in fact have video lottery machines in their business. If there's anything that absolutely grinds my gears, is walking into a business that has those. Go ahead.
And I just wanted to echo, we will follow up on that through our Regulated Industries Division tomorrow. Mr. Scannell also oversees that operation, and we can make that a priority.
Right, that's an easy, you just walk in, it's there, it's not. I will tell you personally, I've had businesses that did in fact have them in state of independence. I went to the manager and I said, if you want me to, I can call the state of Missouri on this, because they will be removed. Guess what? The business on their own removed it. So I have very strong feelings about that. I think if there's anything that makes a convenience store really unattractive, it is having video lottery machines in the business. People sit there, unfortunately, probably giving away their Social Security money, and it is not an advantage to them. So I have tremendous heartburn over that issue. And with everyone here, if it's okay with you, I would like to, make a motion to postpone this to the next council meeting and do some research to find out what's going on.
We don't need to make a motion for that. I think we should vote on the liquor license separately. I think you can request the city manager do any investigation. I think there's been enough investigation. I think there's been enough indication to vote on the liquor license separately. I think any investigation on the other issue can be done separately.
Okay.
I really do.
That's fine, I understand. Anyone else have a discussion? Okay, with that, we've got a motion in front of us right now for the liquor license approval. Madam City Clerk. We're still in public hearing. I've got to close public hearing. Thank you very much. Madam City Clerk, please proceed. Thank you.
Council action is requested on the application received from AJ Mart LLC for retail selling of intoxicating liquor of all kinds in the original package license for AJ Gas and Mart. They'll be located at 9300 East US 24 Highway.
Mr. City Manager, can I ask this question? If the liquor license is approved tonight, can we withdraw the liquor license based on if there are in fact video lottery machines there?
I don't know that we would be able to tie those two issues to one another. Suspension or revocation of a liquor license
Has different proceedings.
Yeah,
Okay.
sale to a minor, et cetera.
Mr. Mayor,
Please proceed.
I can let you know, I'm a no at this point.
Okay.
That makes 3 of us. I'm guessing there's probably 1 or 2 others probably, so I think.
What you're saying is a moot point?
I think on that part, probably yes.
Well said, Councilman. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else have a further discussion? Okay. Please proceed.
Councilmember Spears?
No.
Perkins?
No.
Stewart?
No.
McCandless? No. Steinmeier?
No.
Hobart?
No.
Mayor Rowland?
No. And this application fails. This brings us to...
Mr. Mayor?
Please proceed.
I'm sorry. Before you move on, we did do a quick search, and section 2.01.009 of the city code titled Gambling Prohibited says the operation or possession of any unlawful gambling device in or about the premises where intoxicating liquor is sold, either in the original package or for consumption on the premises where sold, shall be grounds for suspension or revocation of the license required by this article. So they actually are tied together. Shouldn't become an issue later on down the road.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that brings us back to non-ordinance items. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-758, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2023-2024 submitted budget by reducing the city council car allowance account fund by $21,600 and increasing the non-departmental professional services account in the general fund by $21,600 for funding of a citizen satisfaction survey.
Any discussion? Okay, please proceed.
I'll just make a comment in that, this is one way for us as a council to help with budget shortfalls that we have all heard about and know that, the budget issues that we have. And so this is one way for us to, make a difference ourselves. So that's why I'm in favor of this.
Thank you. Anyone else have a further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. So item 23-758 is approved. And Mr. City Manager, just a moment of clarification on this one. This is where we're taking the car allowance from 500 down to,
$200.
okay.
So later in the meeting, there'll be a first reading of an ordinance that will officially take that action. But because the council is voting on the budget tonight, this council asked that we put together an amendment that would allocate the savings from that anticipated action to redirect those funds towards the citizen satisfaction survey, which has not been completed by the city in 5 years.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, this takes us to our second reading. Spanish City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-039, an ordinance approving the Hub Drive Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Plan, establishing a redevelopment area, designating the redevelopment area as a blighted area, making other required findings for the redevelopment plan, designating a developer, approving a redevelopment agreement with the developer, and directing staff to implement the redevelopment plan. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-040, an ordinance approving the petition for the establishment of the Hub Drive Community Improvement District, establishing the district, making findings and authorizing actions related to establishment of the district. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. And this item passes 7-0. Madam City Clerk, please read the next bill.
Bill number 23-041, an ordinance approving a plan for an industrial development project authorizing the City of Independence, Missouri to issue taxable industrial development revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $27,500,000 in connection with the Hub redevelopment project and authorizing certain documents and actions in connection therewith. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Item 23-041 passes 7-0. Madam City Clerk, please proceed.
Bill number 23-042, an ordinance approving a redevelopment project for the Hub Drive Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Plan and initiating tax increment financing therein. Second and final reading.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Please proceed.
I'm going to make a motion to postpone this item indefinitely as the Hub redevelopment group has requested that they put this on hold until they are ready to turn that on. So that date to be reactivated depended on when the staff brings that back to us. So that's my motion.
Second. We've got a motion and a second to postpone this indefinitely until the staff brings this recommendation back to this council. Any further discussion on that? Seeing no discussion, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins? Stewart?
Yes.
Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Item 23-042 is postponed indefinitely, waiting for staff to make a recommendation going forward. Madam City Clerk,
Bill
please
number,
proceed.
Bill number 23-043, an ordinance authorizing the increase of expenditures for lifeguard incentives at the Adventure Oasis Water Complex for $25,000 and making the necessary appropriations. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins? Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. Item 23-043 passes 7-0. Madam City Clerk, please read the next bill.
Bill number 23-048, an ordinance amending Independent City Code Section 12.01.005, loitering. Second and final reading.
Any discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor?
Please proceed.
So just a little background on this. I had a situation just one block from me where I had an individual who was sleeping on the sidewalk in front of a residential, in front of a house in my neighborhood. She was there pretty much all day, all night for about a month. found her a place to go. And she was gone from the neighborhood for about a month. And she came back and she was there about 3 weeks. And it seemed like anything I could do to find any place for her failed. And so I went with the ordinance to try to make an ordinance. And I didn't take it lightly. I really didn't. You know, I agree that we all have rights. You know, maybe she did have the right to sleep on the sidewalk or a storm drain, you know, in front of my house or in somebody else's house. Maybe she does have that right. I don't know. What happens when her rights or anybody's rights interfere with mine? You know, don't I have a right, you know, to feel safe in my neighborhood or, you know, to send my kids to the bus stop without worrying about some stranger sleeping on the sidewalk right in front of their bus stop? Do I have the right not to let my property values decrease because of this? I knew going into this ordinance would not pass. Because I know what the consensus is on this council. I've heard from enough of you. I didn't really do it to get it to pass. I did it to start a conversation, which I think I've done. I have not had enough conversation since this, but I've been assured that our current ordinances will cover the situation such as this becomes up again. So at this time, I will make a motion to amend on the table this ordinance. Second, thank you.
Yeah, so you've got a motion to table this item. There was a second, is that correct? Okay, so there's a motion and a second to table this item. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam City Clerk, please take the roll to table this item.
Councilmember Spears?
Yes.
Perkins?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
McCandless? Yes. Steinmeier?
Yes.
Hobart?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes, and 23048 has a motion to basically withdraw it